F1 racing or NASCAR racing. Don't understand it.
That
I
is that is such a good one.
I don't
That is such a good
understand
one.
this just pull and love for people for just racing. I don't understand it.
There are so many people that are gonna hate you for this, but I kind of agree with you because I don't get it either.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 26 of the Two Man Podcast. Carl, how we doing?
We are doing great, Tyler. A wonderful episode we got planned today. I'm super hyped to get right into it. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's do it. And exactly what Carl said. I know last episode we talked about our upcoming St. Patty's Day slash March St. Patty's Day shenanigans, and those have passed. So how about we talk a little bit about that? We survived, as you can see, based on us having this podcast, which is always a good thing. But Carl, how'd the experience go for you?
Survival is definitely an interesting word to say. I'm definitely gonna clip this and then clip the picture of us sleeping in the car after Harpoon Fest right after it.
Yeah.
What an amazing clip it is. Dude, it was a great weekend. I didn't participate in the actual St. Patty's Day weekend with you guys,
Hmm.
but Harpoon Fest the weekend before for celebrating Courtney's birthday
Hmm.
was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Harpoon Fest was definitely worth all the hype that you guys had talked about. I
Yeah.
actually absolutely loved it. So cool. And the big tent, just all the live performances and just being able to just go anywhere in the tent, grab the different types of beer they had on
Hmm.
tap
Yeah.
was so cool. It definitely has to be a tradition that I have to join with you guys now. This is the second year you guys went, right?
I didn't even go last year. That was the second year most of
Oh,
them went.
really?
Yeah, I only saw their videos last
Oh,
year, so I
dope.
was like super pumped to go this year. And like you said, it definitely lived up to the expectations. Especially when you like first walked in, it was like a dingy little like tent with like a stage and a DJ and maybe like 100, not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
a
yeah.
hundred people, like 30 people. You're like, where is everybody? Like this isn't like what's was advertised. And then you like
No,
walk
100%.
into this huge tent and it looks like it's just glowing, like the heavens are glowing down on it because there's just like 1,000 people, all different beer taps and a live band, and you're like, all right, this is what Harpoon Fest is, and it
Yeah.
was very exciting. It was a great time. And like Carl said, surviving is a loose term for what kind of took place.
Yeah, man. I think we hung out at Courtney's. We woke up. Well, the night before we were playing a bunch of what is that Mario game called we were playing?
Super Mario Bros. The Wii version.
Yeah, the regular Super Mario Bros. Wii version, dude. That game just like hits different, man. I
It
love that
does,
game.
yeah.
Something about Mario games that are just so much fun to play. Every single time, just no matter what it is, if it's Mario Kart, like Mario Party,
Hmm.
like they're just so much fun to play with friends. Especially Friday night, I got there, you guys were already a little bit tipsy,
Hmm.
and Jimmy was just playing as Luigi, just throwing anybody in sight he could off the map and killing us all. Oh, dude, I was so mad. I was just
Yeah,
wanted to, I
dude,
just wanted
I
to
was gonna
hit him.
say
I was so mad.
Mario, as fun as Mario Kart is, it's more competitive. I kind of like doing Super Mario Bros. A little bit more because it's supposed to be like a teamwork kind of thing where you're supposed to try
Yeah.
and beat levels together. But Jimmy had a different agenda where he was just picking everyone up, throwing people off the map, and it was just straight sabotage. So I think we could have gotten even further. We beat like two worlds in one night. I think honestly, without Jimmy sabotage, we could have been anywhere near World 4, maybe even 5.
No, 100%. But especially that one, it was level one on Planet Two.
Yeah,
We couldn't get
we
past.
were
I
there for
think it
like
took us an
45
hour and a half
minutes.
to beat.
Yeah, or even
Yeah,
longer. Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour. I don't know, man. Dude, it took us probably like 60 tries. I'm not even exaggerating. That shit was crazy.
No, I know. And like
I had
how
so much fun though.
so did I. Like how I mean, I honestly think we'll still be like 50 years old, digging up a Wii eventually or dusting it off and still be playing those games because those games are
Yeah,
just endless.
dude, yeah. You know what's funny? I was talking about this with my brother Joey the other day. Um I was like, Joey, like right now, like our grandma lives with us from time to time. Like she
Yeah,
like spends like 2 months off, and then like she goes with my aunt or whatever.
sure.
And my aunt just like sits there, or my grandma sits there, and she just like, will like watch TV. But then like she's like she doesn't even want to watch TV sometimes. She just like looks at us, right? And I
Yeah.
go to Joey. I was like, Joey, you think like when we're that age, like you think we're still gonna be playing video games and stuff? And he goes, no, I don't think so. I was like, I doubt it, man. Like, I feel like I'm just always gonna be playing video games,
Yeah,
like, or something to just keep my mind going.
yeah, I
I
would
just
think
feel like that's
so.
how yeah, I just feel like how that's how it's gonna be for us. Like, 'cause it's funny, like when they talk about like old time music,
Hmm.
like when somebody plays like stuff from, the 50s, they're like, "Oh, get that old mu music off." To
Yeah,
them, like that was like the current music.
yeah,
So
exactly.
like I can only imagine to us when we're listening to, Drake, Travis Scott, like 30, 40 years from now, like what our
Yeah.
kids are gonna be listening to.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna be
always think those
crazy.
things, and even in the video game aspect, like I always just love when you see the stories of parents get approached by their kids saying like, "Hey, you want to play me in Mario Kart or Sluggers or something like that?"
Yeah,
And they're like, "Yeah, no problem," and they end up just like annihilating them because like
absolutely killing them.
that was our game, so we're not gonna let even if it's our kid like win that game. That was our game. And I expect and look forward to, beating my kids in video games and other games when the time comes.
Oh, no doubt, man. It's gonna be absolutely epic. I remember like the TikToks or even like the Vines like talking about like an older brother playing against a younger brother, and like the
Yeah,
older brother like always winning.
every time. Yeah,
It's gonna be like that, but with my kids. I'm like not gonna let them win. And then
yeah,
when I let them win, it'll be like, all right, you
yeah,
got me this time.
yeah,
Even if they beat me, I'm gonna be like, I let you win.
yeah,
I'm gonna be
exactly.
I'm gonna be that petty about it.
100%. But yeah, that was a fun Friday night. Saturday was fun. Had the pregame at Courtney's house. Had a pretty scary Uber experience actually on the way there. That guy probably
Yes.
shouldn't have been allowed to operate a motor vehicle. I don't know how he was one able to obtain a license if he has one, and two how he was certified by Uber. Uber's got to do a better background check with their drivers because this guy drove a minivan. I had a few drinks in me, so I wasn't paying it too much attention on the ride there. But, it was like a 30, 40-minute ride. And I just hear this guy constantly honking the horn. He's
Dude, I was
stopping
locked in on
short.
this guy.
Yeah, he's stopping short. He's like just cutting over into any lane he wanted to. And the worst part was his like rear view mirror was just completely sideways. So there's no
It
way
was
he's
like this,
using
dude.
that.
It was
Yeah, he wasn't using that, so then like everyone's just
it's
like texting each
diagonal.
other like, "Oh my god, like are we gonna get there?" Like this, I'm a big advocate of honking the horn. If someone does something stupid, but this guy just kept honking and honking. I'm like, all right, bro, like it's not that big of a deal at this point, but I'm shocked we got there.
Dude, the light would turn green and he would honk the horn at the car in front of us. I'm like, dude, the light hasn't even been green for 3 seconds yet. Like,
Yeah,
chill, like
I know,
chill.
and the worst part was I was directly behind him on the driver's side, and I like looked over because his GPS was like in the vent on the left, so I wanted to keep seeing like how much time, if there was any traffic, anything
Yeah.
like that. And he's got his AirPod in his left ear, and he's like watching TV, and swiped up in the top left corner of the GPS. So I'm like, no wonder this guy's just doing whatever he wants. He's not even paying attention to the road.
No way. I didn't notice that. Dude,
Yeah,
all I noticed when he was in the car, he looked like he was gonna die. He was like sitting
yeah,
in the car like this, and he was like his eyes were squinted
yeah.
like this.
And I don't really
And
think
I was
he.
like, dude, what's going on? How can you see the road? Your eyes aren't even open, bro. Like they're
I,
squinted like this.
I know, and everyone gave him the typical like, "Hey, how you doing today, man? Like, how's it going? How's your rides? Blah blah blah." And it was just like nothing, no conversation.
Crickets.
Like, yeah, crickets.
Crickets.
And then the worst part was it. I think there was six of us in the car. He dropped us off across the street from the event, and five of us got out. Our friend Jamie was still in the back, and it was like a kind of pretty congested area. And he shut the door to the minivan and started driving away. And while everyone else was laughing, me and Taylor, like especially me, I booked it after the van because like everyone's laughing, but I'm like, wait a
Dude,
second, like this guy doesn't seem all there. If he might be kidnapping her, so you never know. I've watched enough true crime that I started booking it.
dude. the craziest thing to me was because there was a cop car that was had its sirens on behind our Uber. So I
Okay.
guess our Uber just freaked the fuck out, and then
Mm.
he just started going, and I'm sitting there laughing, and then Tyler's like, "Carl, it's not funny."
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop laughing,
Yeah,
and
you,
you
Jimmy,
just
and
booked
Casey
it
were
down.
dying, man. I was like, this isn't the greatest thing to happen. And she even said when she was in the car, she was like saying like, "Hey, hey, I'm in here. Like, let me out," because she was all the way in the last row of the minivan, and he was just like laughing, like not realizing what was going on. But I think after like 100 feet, he, pulled off to a better area and was able to let her out of the car. But definitely not the start we probably wanted to Harpoon Fest. Almost lost a friend.
Yeah, almost lost a friend. Definitely not the start we wanted.
Yeah.
Um, It was hilarious though. I honestly thought it was so funny. I mean not that specific thing. I mean that I was 100% laughing at, but
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
whole day as a whole
Hmm.
was a great day. It was just a
Hmm.
great group of people, and like everybody there was also same vibes, just was
Hmm.
like ready to just get drunk and have a great
Oh,
time.
exactly. I mean, that's what
Um
March is. I mean, everyone turns Irish and everyone
yeah.
is just on the same, wavelength. They're gonna drink and eat as much as they can.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of eating, did you have your green bagel?
Yeah, I did have my green bagel on St. Patty's Day.
Let's
Uh,
go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I was super excited. So kind of fast forwarding to that was the ninth was Harpoon Fest. This past weekend for St. Patrick's Day, I went back to Boston. And we went
Let's
to
go.
yeah, we went to one of Courtney's like friend's apartment. And that morning I had like a bacon, egg, and cheese, just a regular one because I don't they didn't have any green bagels. But when I got to the apartment, they had a whole platter of just green bagels. So I was like,
Wait, 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 wait. So they had green bagels there in Boston.
in Boston, they had green bagels on St. Patrick's Day in this apartment. I don't know where they came from, but they were there.
Courtney said that she had never seen a green bagel before in Boston when I spoke with her.
I mean, maybe these people shipped them out of the state. I don't really know, but there were green bagels in this apartment in Boston, and I couldn't have been more excited. I was full. I wasn't even hungry, but I'm like, it's the principle of the thing. It's St. Patrick's Day in Boston, green bagel. You got to have one. So I was able to have a half of a bagel. Um,
That's awesome. Let's
Yeah, but
go, baby. Let's
it was
go.
so crazy. So the parade was great. Obviously, lasts way too long though. It's like a 3 hour parade, and some of these
That's
floats,
wild.
like some of these buses and floats, like there's no one on them. Well, not the floats, but really the buses that are going by, where like other teams or organizations are supporting. There's buses that are empty. I'm like, what is the point of you? You could have probably cut out some time of this parade.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, but no, overall, I mean, Boston was great. And it was so funny too, because when we were walking back to the apartment, it was like 30 seconds away from the parade. I've just never seen so many people just down bad in my entire life. Uh, like, as I'm just like, me, Taylor, and Courtney got pizza, and we just like sat on the side of the sidewalk and ate it. We didn't care that we were on the streets of Boston, or the city, the dirty city. Like we were sitting on the floor eating our pizza, and there was so many other people like who just were like heads between their knees. They were laying on the sidewalk, like groups of friends, and because the Ubers were all canceling because all the roads were shut down. So if there was
Oh,
no
that's
apartment,
crazy.
you were drunk, maybe sobering up and being hungover, just stuck in the city of Boston. And I just couldn't help but
That's
laugh.
tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's crazy. How'd you guys get home?
An
Courtney's mom?
Uber, no, an Uber was gracious enough to finally get us from the apartment, take us to a restaurant in a different part of Boston, and then we ended up going back. But yeah,
Wow.
it was just funny, like you said. I mean, there were some floats that were going by in the parade, and people were throwing up nips and bottles and cans of beer to them, and people were shotgunning. There was like
That's awesome.
yeah, they had obviously like first responders walking by, and a couple of them like were catching beers from guys throwing them down from the apartment windows on the route, and they were shotgunning beers and stuff. It was just a great vibe, and obviously it was packed. I don't know how many people the Boston Parade brings in, but I can only imagine it's a lot of people, and it was a great time.
Dude, it looked like a great time, man. I was very, very jealous. I worked last weekend, and I didn't want to make the Hajj up to Boston 2 weeks in a row,
Yeah, I don't blame
so I
you.
didn't end up making it. I didn't end up making it up to Boston, but here we had a little bit of our own kind of celebration, very
Mhm.
low key. Me and my fam went to like a luncheon, and they had green beer, which was I was like, how do they make it green?
Yeah, what? Did they just put some
Probably the
dye
same
in
way they
it?
make the bagels green.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know, some leprechaun magic. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they had some green beers. I had some Guinness. Yo, have you ever played the game with the Guinness bottle, like in the Guinness, or not the Guinness bottle, but in the Guinness cup,
Oh, in
where
the
you get
glass.
Guinness and you have to try and drink it and split the G?
Yeah, yeah. I've tried it a couple times before. It's pretty cool. Because most of the time, honestly, I've
Yeah,
gotten
it's
a glass of
fun.
Guinness hasn't been in that glass, but I've tried it before. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I did it with my dad, and my dad's like, "What do you like?" So me and my dad both get a Guinness, and we like cheers, and he's about to drink, and I go, "Whoa, dad, wait, wait, wait!" He's like, "What?" So I tell him, I was like, gonna play a game." It's like,
Hmm.
you see the G on the Guinness, we have to try and split the Guinness with like the head of the beer. So like your first sip, the head of
Yeah.
the beer has to split the G. And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I had to explain it like 4 times to him until he finally got it. And
Yeah.
then so he's like, "All right, let's do it." So we do it, and his like one big gulp brings it like way, way past the G. Like I'm talking about like the G's here, like his sip was here. And I'm like, Dad, what the hell? Like that wasn't a sip, that was a chug. He was like, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm not good at
Rookie,
chugging.
rookie. He just has to drink some more
Yeah,
Guinnesses. He'll get there.
exactly, exactly. Oh, it was so funny though. But no, he definitely could drink enough Guinness to drink both of us under the table. So I can't even tell him to
I
do that.
believe it. I'm not going to
But
challenge him to that one.
yeah, no. It was so funny though. But yeah, no, good St. Patty's Day. Then we went out with a couple of people for our nice friend Emily's birthday. Very chill, but I definitely had a little FOMO with you guys over there you know, at the parade. Hope you saw Oh, dude, first of all, you got to see Danny DeVito's agent, that the
Tommy DeVito.
Italian or, yeah, what did I say? Danny DeVito?
Danny, yeah, Tommy DeVito, yeah, no, Tommy
Tommy
DeVito's
DeVito,
the
yeah.
agent. Yeah, I just saw him. I saw this small looking guy in just a fedora and a striped suit walking around, and I immediately just knew. I was like, hey, it's Tommy DeVito's agent, and one of the guys next to me happened to know him, or maybe just happened to get his attention because he like walked up right next to us, and I was like, I don't know, guy just seems like fake to me. I don't believe it. I think he's just playing a
No,
character.
it's so fake. Like literally you had to, even on like St. Patty's Day, this guy had to wear like a like St. Patrick's like Italian like shirt. I was like, what the
Exactly, and
hell,
he wasn't
man?
even like in the parade. He was just walking it, so I don't know why he was there. I didn't know his relevance, but I mean, yeah, I mean overall the parade had some other floats that I didn't really get, but yeah, we didn't even last. We stayed as long as we could. We were there for like 2.5 hours. I was like, this thing's not over yet. This is ridiculous. But
Who's the
oh,
one who was like, all right, let's call it?
it was like a collective thing because we were all getting hungry. So there was a
Yeah,
pizza spot like 5 steps away. So we're like, let's go get some pizza. So we were able to eat that, which was pretty good. But yeah, St. Patty's Day is good, and I mean, March is still young.
Munch, Munch,
Munch is
Munch,
still young.
March,
March is
March
still
is still
young.
young.
Casey's birthday is coming up too, and it kind of and March Madness and all this stuff kind of coming up, and it
Yeah,
made me think of a question. Where would you rank March in terms of months?
that's a good one. Um, wow. I don't know. All right, so I would have to say the best month.
Yeah.
That's a really tough one. What is the best month?
Mm-hmm.
I would say the best month, probably number one,
Mm-hmm.
has to be like, it's got to be like June. I
Oh,
feel like
really?
June is one of the best months.
Okay.
Yeah, June, because like beginning of summer, it's got that like hype. It's not like too like hot. It's not
Mm-hmm.
too cold. It's like perfect like weather to like, you know, go to the beach, like do fun activities outside.
Yeah.
Then I would say number two has to be like December, because you got all the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say three has to be like, Wow, that's tough. I'd say three has to be. Maybe three might be March.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be my top three.
Okay.
I think yeah, I'm gonna solidify that. What about you? What would be your top three?
Yeah, I have December as one. Because I just like
Nice.
winter. I
It's your
like the
birthday.
yeah, I like the colder weather. It's my birthday. It's Christmas. All the different Friendsmas giving parties and there's other things in December that are a lot of fun and some potential snow. And
Yeah,
then
potential
honestly,
snow.
and I have March at two, because I just love,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I just love the St. Patty's Day celebration. Everyone just seems to be in a great mood, at least when everyone I talk to in Boston, which is, known to have their not so accepting people. Everyone was just in great spirits. But yeah, every weekend basically in March is just a weekend to drink and hang out with your friends and have fun. So I put that as a high too. We have plenty of birthdays we celebrate in March, and then
Yeah, we got a lot.
three I would probably put July. It's a little warmer than June, but like you're right in the middle
Yeah,
of the
you're right.
year. Still have time to go to the beach, and then you get a holiday in there as well with the Fourth of July.
The 4th of July. Do you
So
know what?
yeah,
Maybe I'm switching June and July around. But I can't go back on it. It has now been recorded and everybody will hear it forever and ever and ever.
forever and
So
ever
can't go
until
back on my word.
death do us part. Um, but that kind of I didn't even mean to do that, but kind of brings us into our next section.
Nice. Let's go. I
Me
love when we do that.
exactly. Me and Carl had just thought we would ask each other a couple, two to three questions to see where the other one stands. So Carl has a list, and I have a list, and we're gonna go back and forth and see how we feel. And we have no idea the questions, so let's see how this goes. Carl, you want to ask first?
Yeah, these are the two-man random questions that we found online to ask each other. Thought that it would be fun to just kind of go off the dome and just ask some random ass questions to each other. So my first question to you, Tyler, is
Sure.
um to kind of stay on the I don't know. I guess the weird topic side of if you were alone on Earth, what would you spend your time doing?
Oof, that is a great, great question. Not one have thought about a lot, but one that I have thought about when you see like those apocalyptic movies and stuff or scenarios. I would be optimistic that someone else is out there, you know. So
So you would just try and find someone?
I guess I think I would. Oh, what would you do? Because wow, what a great question. Because I wouldn't want to say stationary. Obviously, there's the answers of like, oh, go to the grocery store and obviously steal, eat whatever you want. Because like, I assume like there's been some sort of apocalyptic, uh, event that took place, but things are still all right. So I guess I would just travel, honestly. I know I wouldn't be able to fly a plane, but maybe I could drive a car, travel the world a little bit easier, no traffic, stock up on as much
Hey,
food as possible, and then really just still hold that hope that someone else is out there that maybe I could befriend.
if anybody can fly a plane, I think it could be you because I know your grandpa flies planes. So I feel like you've been in a plane a couple of times. Maybe you can figure it out.
True, maybe I would just have that just muscle memory or instinct in me or something. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
just
that's the only thing I could think of is just travel, but not even in like a sightseeing slash optimistic someone else is out there kind of way.
I think that's a good one because everything would be super cheap.
Mhm.
Um, Only problem is like you might just go crazy.
Oh, I would
You just might
definitely,
go.
I would go 100% crazy. I would probably be like Tom Hanks from that movie with the volleyball. I would have to create my own Wilson or something because
Yeah, yeah.
I love talking. So for me, not being able to talk to anyone would be tough. Maybe I would
You might
create like a
have
diary.
yeah. Oh, look at that, a diary.
Yeah.
The Diary of Tyler Garnett. I'd buy it. I'd
Yeah,
buy it.
so maybe if
I'd buy the
someone was
book.
still out there and anyone ever discovered it, they can see just my road to insanity.
Dude, whenever I think of that, I think of like the show The Hundred,
Yes.
where like they like when you go further into like the show where people have like undercover bunkers and stuff,
Hmm.
just like that have stood this test of time, like
Yeah.
it's just crazy to me. I
Exactly.
could just
Yeah. I would
I would
hope
want
not
one
to
of
get in
those.
that
I
situation.
would have to
Yeah.
live.
Yeah. I would have to live. Gotcha. That's a good one. Not one that I had, which is good. So my question to you was, would you accept a sugar mommy or daddy?
When I saw this question on there, I knew you were gonna ask me this. Um, Such a great question. Um, no time to think about it. I'm gonna say yes.
Hmm.
But now that I've said yes, what do I have to agree to? Is this like,
Mm.
like am I going like head deep into like the sugar mama fandom like or like stereotype here, or am I just, there to like talk and, bring her
Mm.
on dates and,
That's a
have a
that's
good
a
time?
that's a really great question. Yeah, because obviously there's a two difference. Like if there has to be like sexual acts to get paid, if it's like a prostitution
Yes,
kind of
yes,
route,
mm-hmm.
or if it's just like they want a companion to
Yeah.
kind of treat. What a great question. We'll go with just like a companion.
All
Take
right,
you on
yeah,
dates.
companion I think I can do.
Yeah, take you on dates, and then just the occasional. See where it leads you after that, I guess. But
See where it leads you after the night. All right, you know what? In that case, I can do it. I mean,
okay.
am I making millions?
You're
Am I
making
making
you
millions?
you're making money where you don't have to have a full-time job. I'm not gonna say millions, but you
Oh,
don't. You're supported.
that's that's pretty good. So I'm making like 80K a year. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm
Yeah,
with
so
that.
you're supported, and then
Yeah.
how would you feel that like what's the max age you would be like comfortable like you know going out with
Ah,
someone?
dude, I don't know, man. Honestly, probably like literally maximum is like early to mid 40s is like
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
my cutoff.
yeah. That
I
I
don't
would
think I could do it like anything closer to that.
I would
That's
I,
just weird.
I would agree with that answer. I thought you were about to say like 60s. I was like I don't think he's gonna,
Dude,
but could
60?
you imagine? I mean,
No.
I guess it would depend the
No.
money. Like that would have to be millions and millions.
Dude, my parents are 60.
All
That
right.
would just be weird.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
That
fair
would just
point.
be weird.
That's a fair point. All right, let's change the topic, folks. Let's get the next
All
question.
right, let's go. All right, my next question to you has to do with something that you love to actually talk about is selling your organs, but it's not selling your organs. We do talk often on the podcast and just in general that if you
Hmm.
needed to make money that you would sell an organ.
Yeah,
So, to kind of flip it around, if you were to pick an organ to perform a supernatural superpower, which organ and what would it be?
supernatural superpower. Wow. That's a good one. You know what's funny? This is quickly off topic. Something I thought about immediately when I saw that question, but now realizing it's not an organ, was something that would be a cool. It's not even a superpower. Something that would just be cool in general. Uh, would just be like, could you imagine like your fingers like could shoot like liquids out of them, and you could choose like it would be like a different finger. Like you seen the question where it's like a different finger, and it would be
Yes,
like
I love this
beer,
question.
Dr. Pepper,
Yes, yes.
water. Like that would just be so cool. So I thought that would be a cool superpower, but that's not an organ at all. So that obviously doesn't apply.
I mean,
So
aren't your limbs technically organs? Or like
uh I don't
technically?
think so. I think like an organ, like what would an organ be? Like a heart, liver, spleen.
I think it's like a heart, liver, kidney, spleen. Talk
Hmm.
doesn't have a spleen.
No.
Intestines.
Yeah, I gotta look up organs real
Um,
quick to answer this question. Organs. This is so terrible.
a
Organs in
little
the
bit off
body.
topic. I've been playing with my pen. I got pen all over my hand.
That's so
What's
tough.
that?
Oh, the
Okay.
stomach, stomach. Superpower. But like,
Oh, the
what's?
stomach is a good one.
I guess I would
Like you
do.
could make it like a bottomless pit and you could just eat anything you want
That's what I was kind of
and then
thinking.
never gain fat.
I was almost thinking that. I was thinking, or just like, even if you did like, the brain is an organ. Oh, I'm
Oh,
gonna do where I could just like a superpower where I could just like access more of the brain. So
all
like,
right. But like,
I
what do you
don't
want to
know
do with
what
that?
superpower that would be and what that would really do, but like I can just, I
You ever
think
see
how
the
much
movie
of the brain
Limitless?
I have that doesn't turn out so well, but
Yeah, no, but like that's a cool power.
yeah, maybe not like 100%, but instead of like what do we use, like 5%, like up it to like 20%, or do we use 20%? I would just like
Yeah,
up it a little bit so that I could just like know more and just
that's
be like so smart and just like see color or smell colors and see time and whatnot. So maybe
you
a
know what?
lame answer,
That's a
but
good.
that's what
That's
I'm
a
going with.
see color, see color, see color, and see time or
Yeah,
smell time. Did you just
I
say
said smell
smell
colors
time?
and see time.
Oh, that's funny as fuck.
Yeah, that's the only answer I think
That's
I
a good
could
one.
think of. I don't know. There's probably better ones
Mine,
out there.
mine. If I were to do that, I would say, I would super like human regeneration to my liver. This way, you could just like drink as much as you want, never be hungover, and just be be chilling all the time,
Shit, I wish I
not
could
have to
change my
worry about
answer.
like your liver failing.
That's a good one. I wish I could change my answer like you
And
said
that would help
before.
you with on St. Patty's Day.
It would, and even I even thought the same thing with the kidneys, same thing. But God, that's a good one. I like that. Better regeneration, or just that would make sense. That's a good one. That's a good question too. And uh, my next question that I had for you is, what's the weirdest thing you've ever been caught doing?
Um, so I don't know if this counts as like a weird thing or if you're gonna find it weird, but I
Let's
I
hear it.
kind of find it weird that I do.
Sure.
Um,
Oh boy, here we go.
so yeah, no, it's actually no, it's gonna not as weird as you're gonna think it's gonna be.
Okay.
So something weird that I do, I don't know if it's weird to other people, but when I like to read a book, but then also listen to the audiobook at the same time. Is that weird?
But you like to
My brother
read?
thought it was weird.
You like to read
So
the
like
book and
so
then
I started reading Dune, right? But then I
yeah,
downloaded the audiobook.
yeah.
So like I sit there and I listen to the guy read the words on the page as I'm looking at it.
I don't think that's that weird. That's funny. I
All
wonder
right,
how
so
many
that is
people do
something.
that. I mean, I'll count it because I don't know if we're just have the same mind, but like with an audiobook, I think I would do the same thing because I wouldn't
I
want to
mean,
just
it's not the
listen to it.
first time I've done it. I do it kind of often. I've done it before. I used to
Huh.
do it in high school and we used to have to read books. I would like get the audiobook and then listen to it. I
Yeah, I don't
feel
think
I
that's a
feel like
weird thing. That's how I assume what that would be an audiobook is, honestly. But maybe people are
yeah,
different.
maybe you're
Maybe
right.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people are different.
Let us know in the comments. Do you do this? We don't know.
Yeah, who
Trying to
knows?
think something else weird that I've been caught doing.
Yeah.
Definitely definitely something in high school, like just like skipping class, something. I don't
Mm,
know. Had to have been something weird.
yeah. The audiobook one is not off because I mean, if your brother thinks it's weird, I mean,
Yeah,
you've been caught doing it, and it's weird to him. So I'll count
been caught doing it.
it.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Counter. Counter. All right, my last one to you actually leads in to our last topic that we're going to talk about today.
Hmm.
So, what sport do you find silly and have trouble understanding? And do you think it's weird that other people enjoy it?
Yes. 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 I didn't have one immediately, but yes. F1 racing or NASCAR racing. Don't understand it.
That
I
is that is such a good one.
I don't
That is such a good
understand
one.
this just pull and love for people for just racing. I don't understand it.
There are so many people that are gonna hate you for this, but I kind of agree with you because I don't get it either.
I don't understand. My head quickly went to field hockey, but honestly, I've seen some pretty electric field hockey games, so I'm gonna take that out. Um, but yeah, racing And like F1, like when I see people like, oh, F1 starts again this Saturday, or Max, whatever his name is, like is gonna be really good. They're like posting on
Max
his
Everest
stories. They're like,
is.
this guy changed to Ferrari as his sponsor. I'm like, is this the biggest news that like these guys are changing from Maserati to Ferrari on their cars? Like, I'm not saying it's not
Yeah.
very talented what they do driving 150 miles an hour, but it's only cool for the people in the cars. I don't care seeing these guys do 100 laps around you know, a different course or even just an oval course, you know? I don't get the appeal. I don't think I could watch it for that long. It would be something I maybe would put on in the background if it was on TV, but I wouldn't be like,
Yeah, I
oh my God, 10 a.m., F1's on. Let me spend the next 3 hours watching it, you know?
also I feel like the coolest part of those races are like the last two laps. So if it is like 100 laps, like
Exactly.
you don't really need to sit there and watch all like 98 laps. You just need to watch the last two to see
Yeah.
what really happens.
Yeah. And you could watch that with
The coolest
any.
thing I think though,
Yeah. No, keep going.
no, the coolest thing I think out of that is watching the videos of them like the pit crews like changing tires.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
cool as shit.
Yes.
Like think I saw one the other day was like 1.2 seconds. I was like, how is that even
Yeah.
possible?
No, that's cool too.
What?
But like going back to the thing you were saying about like you only have to watch the last two laps. I mean, granted, that could be said about any game or any sport. You know, you only have to watch the
That's
third
true.
period. You only have to watch the fourth quarter. Really, only have to watch the ninth inning. I mean, obviously, other exciting things happen during the game, but what exciting thing besides an unfortunate crash could really happen in these races that like you need to
Yeah.
tune in and stuff? You know, in today's age, you could really watch a lot of these things after the fact. So I just do not get the love for racing and NASCAR and F1 and all that.
Now I'm with you on that one, honestly. I 100% agree. But a lot of people are gonna be pissed. A lot of people are gonna be pissed.
That's fine. I want
But
to
you
hear.
know
I want
what?
to hear. I want to hear why you like it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. I, I, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I feel like what's more electric than that is like horse racing. I feel like horse racing is more electric than
Well, yeah,
race
cause and
cars.
that's quick too, because that's one lap. You know, ready, set,
Yeah,
go. Straight out the gate, you get the gun, and they're gone. So honestly, it probably is a little more exciting. You're not wrong.
that's what I'm saying. It's more exciting. I like watching what are the guys that are on the horseback?
The
What are they
jockeys.
called? The jockeys, yo, I like watching the jockeys just like up and down on the thing, and then they're like they're whipping that horse, dude. Like they go fucking crazy, go
Yeah, no,
crazy.
it really is crazy, honestly, those races. But yeah, I don't get that sport. I'm glad I thought about that and didn't go with the field hockey approach.
Yeah, no,
Because
that's a good one. That's a really good
if
one.
you want, even
I
if you
love
don't want to
that.
consider it, I'm considering it a sport. So
No, we are considering that. That's in the books. That's a good one.
yeah,
I was
and
gonna go like cricket. I don't know if I were to do
I
that.
thought that too, but like
Cricket.
it kind of has some elements of baseball in there. So like, and I mean,
Yeah,
I know a lot of
that's the
people
only reason why
like
I
it.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, for my last question, this was actually something not from the list, but something I know that has been talked about with amongst our group,
Oh, let's go.
and something I wanted to figure out. And what would you rather have? Would you rather be nauseous or would you rather have a sore throat?
All right. Yes, I would 100% rather have a sore throat than be nauseous.
That's
Being nauseous is terrible. All right. So for where this originated, we were in Colorado about like 2 months ago. Jimmy had a sore throat for like the whole trip we were there and was
Mhm.
popping Advil like they were candy. Literally
Yeah,
just pop, pop, pop. I think he must have had at least like 17 Advil a day.
that's
Not good for
crazy.
your yeah, not good for your stomach. Gonna probably get like some sort of disease or like get an ulcer in your stomach or something for that shit.
Yeah,
Probably should get that checked.
probably.
But then he was like, so we were like, Jimmy, like why are you like so pissed? And then I think the next day, or I got nauseous from like the altitude. Apparently if you're like in the altitude for too long, like you get nauseous.
Hmm.
Or like if you go from like a low altitude to a really high altitude, you get
Yeah.
nauseous. So I was like, dude, like I can't drink, like I'm nauseous. He's like, I'm drinking right now. Like I have a bad throat. My throat's been hurting the whole time. Like you need to drink, blah blah, blah. So I'm like, dude, like, okay, whatever. And then Courtney was like, Jimmy, I think being nauseous is worse than having a sore throat. He's like, no way. I would so rather be nauseous than having a sore throat. So, end all be all, I would 100% rather be nauseous because, or rather have a sore throat than be nauseous because being nauseous is just terrible. You just sit there and you just can't move. Just like you're at the risk of just throwing up on someone, on yourself in public. It's tough. But when you have a sore throat, you can really just like play cool and pretend like you don't have anything.
Not really though, because you have to swallow still. And anytime you swallow just, a basic swallow, that hurts. You can't, depending how bad it is, you can't talk, you can't eat, you can barely sleep, you can't even drink water to make it feel better. And guess what you have to do if you have to take medicine? Swallow again, which hurts to go down. If you're nauseous, you throw up, and most of the time, not every time, you feel better. Yeah, both of them you could be immobile and not be able to move. But if you're nauseous, you're not feeling great. Maybe you close your eyes, put some
I
sunglasses on, shut the shades. But if you once you throw up, you're feeling better
I
for
don't
the
know.
most
See,
part.
a lot of the times when I'm nauseous, like personally, I think it's very like personal preference because when I'm nauseous, I actually don't like throw up
Mm,
a lot.
okay,
Like I don't it takes a lot for me to throw up. Like I have to be like
that's
really,
fair.
really nauseous. Or
Yeah.
even when I do throw up, I don't know, it's weird. Like I would say like the times that I have thrown up, I haven't felt nauseous beforehand. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Like it's just been like a thing where I'm sick and I have a stomach bug and I throw up. But
Yeah.
like nausea, I feel like is different. I don't know.
No, it's just tough. Don't get me
Because
wrong, but I think sore throat is just so
yeah,
so tough.
I feel like it definitely depends on like the level of the sore throat that you have. Like if it's like it can stem from like a scratch to literally razor blades going down your throat. Razor blades is definitely tough, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I mean, like even when your like throat does like feel like you have razor blades just cutting your throat, it does like Advil doesn't help. Nothing helps there.
Nothing helps. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
tough.
I'm pretty
I'm still
sturdy on
going
that
nausea.
stance. I mean, I know it's not my question. I'm sick in a sore throat, and I want to see everyone in the comments talk and give their takes on this because this is something that is definitely, I think, interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely rather have a sore throat. Nausea is definitely worse. That's what
Yeah,
I'm going with.
sounds good. All right, well, that's the questions we have for each
Hope you
other.
guys enjoy them.
Yeah, and we'll move into our last couple topics here, both in the sports realm. We'll kick it off first quickly with just the last week of NFL free agency and just how insane it has been. This has easily
Crazy.
been the craziest NFL free agency I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
man. I feel like just like everyone's been going everywhere. A lot of teams switching, a lot of people, a lot of personnel being traded,
mhm.
or, just like they had a good running back. They could have re-signed him, but instead they got another really good running back. Like it's
Yeah.
like it was crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen just so many players like contracts, expire in the same off season, and so many teams just not re-sign them. And like you said, like the whole NFC East lost their running backs or got new running backs.
Yeah,
With Saquon going to the Eagles and the Commanders
that was a
got a new
tough
running
one.
backs. They got Eckler. I know the Giants signed Singletary, and the Cowboys lost Pollard. Have they officially lost Pollard?
Yeah,
I
the Cowboys
think.
lost Pollard. Yep.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's just like all the running back, carousel. I think like almost 15 of them got new teams. I know Swift left the Eagles, and it was just
Yeah,
like,
Swift went to the Bears.
yeah, and it was like every 5 minutes, especially when the legal tampering period opened, there was just a new signing, a trade, and I'm just thinking in terms of like playing the next Madden. I'm going to be shocked playing with some of these teams saying, I didn't even know
Yeah, a hundred
this guy
percent.
went there because each move has just shadowed another move. So, and it's not even done. There's still free agents out there, and the draft is still to come. So,
Yeah. I think the two toughest moves for our respective teams that we
mm,
like was for the Giants, Saquon going to the Eagles.
Tough.
A lot of people were hating on him going to the Eagles.
Yeah.
I do find one like one thing out of there that does kind of make sense for him going there. As a fan of the Giants, like absolutely hate seeing him go there.
Obviously.
But like for him, I do see like why it kind of makes sense. Like for like a personal reason,
Yeah.
not only like are the Eagles probably better off to like set up better to win than the Giants are, but he also went to school at Penn State. He spent
Yeah.
4 years there, and he is an avid person who goes back to Penn State and goes to Pennsylvania back a lot. So I
Yeah.
could see him wanting to go back there
Mm-hmm.
often.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I can't knock somebody for, wanting to go back to somewhere where they like kind of grew up, like
Yeah.
you're in college for 4 years. Those are the best 4 years of your life, who
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want to go back and relive those memories?
Exactly.
So can't blame him.
Yeah.
But and then on the other end, I know you were really high on Brees Huff, right?
Bryce
And he
Huff. Yeah.
ended up
Bryce
going to the
Huff.
Eagles. Bryce Huff, yeah, Bryce
Yeah.
Huff, and Bryce Huff ends up going to the Eagles too. So the Eagles really fucked
Bastards.
New York sports.
They took
Yeah,
everything from New York. Really,
yeah,
really,
they
you hate
just
to see
love
it.
doing that to us, huh?
I guess so. I was really high on him too. I knew it was a pipe dream that he was coming back. He kept saying he wasn't going to take a hometown discount. He knows he's one of the best pass rushers in the game, which he very well
Yeah,
might be. He's young. He got like not as many snaps as some of the other top sack leaders in the league, and he still was able to get 10 sacks. He had double digits with I think like only like 50% of the snaps during a game. So a team that's going to utilize him a bunch. I hope the Eagles just take care of him and use him right. And Bryce Huff, I think, will be a name that people will be talking about for years to come. But
yeah, I think so too. I mean, him and Cox on that D line is gonna just be something to watch, man.
he just
Uh,
retired.
Two of the best going out. Cox just retired.
Cox retired. Yeah.
Him, damn, they lost Cox and Kelsey in the same year.
Yeah. They don't have Cox. They still have They still have Graham. I mean, or was it no? Yeah, they still have Graham, but Cox retired. So
That's tough.
I
That's a
mean, the
tough
D line's
loss
still great,
for
obviously, with all those
Philly.
moves. But see, like,
Yeah,
if you look at the NFL free agency, like retirement, no one's even talking about it. You could have, if you literally
yeah.
didn't look at your phone for 2 minutes, you missed probably four moves. That's how
You
crazy it
missed so
was.
much moves,
Yeah.
so many moves. It's crazy,
No, I know. And
dude.
then
Now go on to your next one. You were gonna talk about.
I was just saying, like, even just like not top 10 Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons for 4 years, 180
Dude,
million. And like so many so many
he is
players went
top
to
10. He is
not top
top
10.
10.
So many guys just went to like division rivals. Like I know Aaron Jones went from the Packers to the Vikings, Patrick Queen from the Ravens to the Steelers. Saquon, who we just talked about, staying in a division to a rival. Like a lot of guys also are just going for that revenge almost. They're going to teams so
Yeah,
they can play them twice a year, and probably have their best games against them. So
dude, they're
I
gonna have their best games. It's gonna be the only thing going talked about going into these games,
yeah.
which makes for a good watching. Like
Mhm.
as a fan of football, but it's crazy.
Yeah, and then like NFL trades to me don't even make sense. Like Keenan Allen
Yeah,
was a top five receiver last year in terms of the season, just last season, and he got traded for a fourth round pick. That was it. Like,
yeah. Value in the NFL really doesn't make sense to me at
no,
all,
I,
at all.
I don't get it. I remember when DeAndre Hopkins got traded. I think he got traded for like a fourth and a sixth.
Yeah,
I know Mac Jones and Justin Fields aren't as great so far in the NFL, but they both got traded for 6 round picks.
the
Um,
fact that Justin Fields they got traded though, he has so much upside. Like
yeah,
even if you got traded for like a second or third round, I would understand because you can get the same equivalent player for that in this year's draft.
yeah, exactly.
So that's what I didn't really understand about those, and which is kind of annoying.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I mean, especially too, is that Steelers traded for Justin Fields after just signing Russ. So
yeah,
now you have two guys who started for teams last year
yeah,
on one team.
yeah,
Like, I just feel like that's just like, yes, competition is good, but I feel like
yeah.
that's just cause for just like drama on a team that already had a lot of drama last year.
Hmm.
I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans were screaming fire Canada,
Yeah,
their
Canada.
offensive
Yeah,
coordinator
yeah,
for the first like 8 games of the season until they
yeah.
finally fired him. You know,
Yeah.
and that was the only thing that Steeler fans were talking about. The NFL was talking about. I watched the
Mm.
Pat McAfee show. That's all they were talking about.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have the same thing is when Russ isn't playing good, bench Russ, start Fields is what's gonna be. And then if Fields starts doing bad, bench Fields, start Russ. It's gonna be back and forth.
Exactly. Like you said, competition is good, but it's always tough when there's like another, I won't say proven, but experienced starter, right behind you in the depth
Yeah.
chart. Because you make one mistake, you start playing a little bad, and you especially start losing games, they're going to be calling for your replacement very quickly in the NFL. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
it's interesting to
100%.
see how long that dynamic lasts. The Bears are solidifying that they're taking Caleb Williams number one now. The draft's going to be interesting. The NFL offseason has just been full of storylines.
I saw RG3. He said that Caleb Williams should pull an Eli Manning and pick like the team that he wants to go to.
Hmm.
Like so when Eli was in the draft, he said that like the Chargers had the number one overall pick
Yeah.
and they picked Eli anyway,
Hmm.
but he didn't want to go there, so he like told them if you pick me, I'm not going to play. So they
Yeah.
ended up just trading Eli to the Giants for Austin Rivers.
Smart.
So yeah, I mean, that would be crazy if he does something like that, but I just don't know what team he would want to say he wants to play for,
Yeah. I'm not
which would
sure.
be the
And
crazy thing for me.
And honestly, it's kind of crazy that in years past, like in any sport, you're drafted top five. Like you have to realize you're going to a pretty terrible team, and you're gonna have to be
Yeah,
part of the reason that franchise turns it around. But the Bears have kind of been going all in the last couple off seasons. I won't say all in because they still had
yeah,
a down year last year with Fields getting hurt and stuff. And keeping Fields still wasn't the answer. Want to give him a change of scenery, but they still had DJ Moore. They signed DeAndre Swift. They traded for Keenan Allen. So they
yeah, which is
got
crazy.
some weapons for Caleb Williams. I mean, you don't know how the team will gel offensive line defense, but at least he has weapons to throw to. It's
Yeah,
not like other guys who get drafted. Like, if someone gets drafted after him to like the Patriots or even if they wanted to go to the Cardinals, like there's really no weapons there for those guys. So
no, 100%. Um, so I listen, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, a lot of other key players got moved too. It's going to be fun to see like Derrick Henry not playing for the Titans anymore.
yeah,
Um,
him going with Lamar
which was
Jackson, insane.
yeah, Lamar Jackson, yeah, roll tide. Then, seeing who else was another one that really shook me? Oh, not Kirk Cousins. Who I think I don't know who else was it? Oh, Baker Mayfield was back with Tampa. That wasn't a surprise though. Thought he was gonna
Nah,
stay there.
100%.
There was another really big one that surprised me. I
Well, I
gotta look and
know
see which one it
just
was.
as some other ones. I know Josh Jacobs went to the Packers.
Josh
Um,
Jacobs, yep.
Brian Burns got his big deal with the Giants.
That was
It,
cool. Don't know how it's gonna end up turning out, but it was
who
cool.
who knows? Yeah. Even like guys like T. Higgins and Ladarius Sneed, they're still franchise tag
Yeah,
and seeking trade. So, those moves still have to be made if, they don't come to an agreement on the contract. And it's just, there's not even like one storyline you can pick in this offseason. That's how crazy it's been.
yeah, man. I'm excited to see how the NFL ends up turning it around. The draft should be interesting, especially for us as New York fans. Our teams weren't great last year, so
Nope.
this is kind of our reward. We get to see, hopefully, have a exciting NFL draft day.
Hmm.
I mean, you guys just also got Mike Williams today on a one-year deal
Yep.
to help out that receiving core. So it should be
Yeah.
interesting to see what the Jets do. I don't know what direction the Giants were going in. Some people are saying quarterback, some people are saying O lineman. It
Hmm.
should be interesting to see what direction both teams go on draft day.
Yeah, I really like the flexibility that the Jets created for themselves on draft day because obviously their biggest needs in this offseason was to help Rodgers, and that was by getting some more weapons and building an offensive line to protect him. They
Yep.
acquired slash signed three offensive linemen. They just signed Mike Williams. They still have Garrett Wilson, so they kind of shored those things up, but Does that mean they take Brock Bowers now at 10? They can if he's there. They could also take the top player, whether it's an offensive lineman or wide receiver still, even though they just got all these guys, because most of these guys are on 1 year deals. So, you're going all in this year, but you also still obviously have to think about the future. So I don't think they can make a wrong move, but crazier things have obviously happened. So but it has put him in the spot to take the best available player. So I can't be too mad. But I can't get too excited because when they signed Rodgers, I thought they were going to have a good season too. So, well,
Hey man, got to keep the hope alive, man. Got to keep the hope alive. I know our Giants aren't going to be great, but hopefully we make it interesting. Is a good coach, so
yeah.
hopefully when they make the right moves, and if Daniel Jones is playing, hopefully he slings it around for us, and he teaches whatever quarterback they bring in the ropes on the way in. But should be some interesting couple of weeks ahead of us. When is the draft? Do you know exactly the date of the draft?
It's like end of April. It's usually like either in the like teens or the 20s. So,
So we got at least another month and a half of just torture, just talking about what picks are gonna be, who's the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Oh,
We're gonna about
I
to get all the
cannot
mock
wait.
drafts in the entire world. We have another month of that.
Yep.
But something we don't have to wait a month for, and is less days away than that, is the MLB season. And that brings us to our last topic here on the podcast. Me and Carl did this last year. We thought it'd be fun to do it again this year. With the season about to begin, we are going to make our predictions for some of the major awards in baseball. MVP, Cy Young, Comeback Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and then we're also going to pick our World Series winners. And let's get right into it. Carl, you want to start off with your. Let's start off with Comeback Play of the Year. We'll go like least
All right,
exciting
all
to most
right.
exciting.
All right, cool. So comeback player of the year. This one I definitely had trouble on when we were
Mm-hmm.
trying to pick the before we got on air, but for I'm gonna start with the NL, which was the one I had the hardest with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Nolan Arenado. He had a down
Wow.
year last year. The St. Louis Cardinals definitely made a couple of moves in the offseason to potentially be better this year. And I'm gonna say that Arenado, he's one of the best third basemen in the league, has been for a long time. He has a
Mm-hmm.
bounce back year and he leads all third basemen in hitting, and hopefully he plays outstanding ball this year.
Sure.
And then my AL comeback player of the year is, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one. I'd like to hear what you think.
Mm-hmm.
I have Joey Votto. He just got
Oh.
signed to yeah, he just got signed to Toronto. Not Cincinnati basically said they didn't want him on the team. They were going
Mm-hmm.
in a young direction.
Yeah.
And his first at bat that he had for Toronto,
Yeah.
I think it was 2 days ago, he hit a home run.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he still got pop in him. Guy's a dog, man, and he loves to play baseball. So I could see him being a really good player for that young, Toronto team that they have up there.
Yeah.
And hopefully he ends up becoming the comeback player of the year. It just depends on his playing time.
Yeah. And he goes back to his hometown. So maybe that gives him a little bit
His
of
hometown.
extra
Yeah,
motivation.
exactly.
So I don't hate that one. I
Yeah.
do not hate that one. Two good ones.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
How about yourself? Who do you have?
Yeah, so these were kind of tougher too. But for the NL, I have O'Neill Cruz from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't
Nice.
know how much this counts. I'm going to count. I know he missed a bunch this season because I had him on fantasy. I believe he fractured his ankle or foot. So he missed like
Yeah.
a few months. He did come back at the end of the year, but he's just been killing it in spring training. So I'm going to say he has an even better year if he stays healthy. So that's going to be my comeback play of the year. Just an exciting young player for the Pirates. And then for the
That's a good pick.
AL, for the AL, this is who I picked last year for the AL Cy Young. And he ended up having one of the worst statistical seasons I've ever seen for a pitcher. And that is New York Yankees starter Carlos Rodon is my AL comeback
Wow.
player of the
Okay, that's a good
year.
one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Hopefully, I mean, Yankee fans in that rotation with Cole down are going to rely on him a little bit. He's been pitching pretty good in spring training so far. You take that with a grain of salt, but you got to think he has to do better than he did last year. Between
I think he has
injuries
to, man.
and giving up 4 or 5, sometimes more, runs a game in 2, 3 innings, I think he has to do better. So I'm gonna go with Carlos Rodon as my comeback player of the year.
Dude, I think that's a good pick. I mean, Carlos Rodon, he was really good on San Fran that one year, right? And
Yep,
then went to the Yankees and just played like trash, but he's
forgot how
been
to
doing
pitch.
pretty well.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I also we just did a fantasy draft before this and I just picked him, so hopefully you're right.
sounds good. And so, how about for the next one, we go into rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year, I like this one. So,
Hmm.
the two picks I have are probably the two front runners to win this award. I think I
Oh,
picked the front runners the last year that we did this.
yeah, it's
Actually, no, I
always
picked
tough.
Brett Beatty, and that was a
That
shit
was a
show.
whiff.
But yeah, whiff and a half.
Hmm.
This year I'm taking two of the front runners. I'm taking Jackson Holiday,
Well,
from Baltimore, and I'm taking Paul. Um, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. I think it's Skeens. It's
oh, what a great
S
one.
key. Yeah. Yeah, the starting pitcher for Pittsburgh. Um he's pitching really well right now in spring training. They're doing this like new thing, the spring training breakout,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool where they bring up a bunch of the prospects to just kind of play against each other in spring
Hmm.
training.
I did see that. Yeah.
And yeah, they Jackson Holiday and Paul pitched it up, or he pitched to Jackson and he struck him out of the first at bat. That they're probably gonna have many to come more.
Hmm.
So cool to see that. But those are my two picks. How about yourself?
I like those, honestly. I didn't even, I mean, they're so young. I know Jackson Holiday is like so young and Skeens is lighting up too. Two guys in spring training who, like, you thought were probably too young to make an impact on their or MLB roster this year, but they've done so well that you definitely expect to see them in the rookie of the year race for sure. So I think those are two good
Yeah,
picks.
even if they don't start, the year they'll definitely make it up at some point.
Exactly. So for my rookie of the years, or maybe two other favorites or people who are talked about, for the AL, funny to think that he is a rookie, but Evan Carter, who made some noise last year in the
Oh yeah,
postseason for them, he got a glimpse but did not play enough games to be eligible. But Evan Carter had some clutch at bats and key moments in their
it's a good
postseason
one.
World Series runs last year. So I have him for the AL. And then for the NL, even though he is older, and you don't probably consider him a rookie. I'm going with Yamamoto from the Dodgers. Uh,
Wow, that's a good one. That's two
yeah,
good ones. I didn't even
they
think about that.
yeah, they
Technically, he
get
is.
they
Yeah.
because he's technically a rookie. It's like the same thing that happened with Senga last year. They signed him from Japan at like 28, 29 years old, and he's technically an MLB rookie, even though he's been playing professional ball all these years. So, they signed him to that big contract. He has not been doing great in spring training, but I think that's the rookie of the year right there for the NL and the AL.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. So I like both those, man. Yamamoto is sneaky. I forget about that because these Japanese pitchers come over so old.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
exactly.
crazy.
Because it's not a rookie.
I
You
always think
think usually,
prospects.
yeah, you always think prospects and like rookies are
Yeah.
like 28, 29 years old. But yeah, I think he's going to get it done for there. And how about Cy Young, Carl? What you got for that?
Cy Young's interesting. I think I picked two of the you know, lead guys in this category.
Hmm.
I picked for the NL, I picked Spencer Strider,
Oh,
who
nice.
pitched absolute lights out for the Braves. He's definitely one of the, if not the best pitcher in the league right
Hmm.
now, going into the season. And then for the AL, I picked Corbin Burns, for Baltimore. That stacked team having Corbin Burns over there. I think they're going to be definitely a team to watch, and he might win the Cy Young.
Yeah, I mean,
You have
like
the
you
same
said,
guys, don't you?
two phenomenal picks. Two picks that I think a lot of people might have, including myself, who had the exact same two guys for the AL
When
and
I saw your
NL.
face, I was like, "Oh man,
Yeah, I mean, I
oh
was
that's
hesitant to
awesome."
put Burns coming off, coming to a new team. You never know how they're gonna acclimate year one. But that's just a more explosive offense than he had in Milwaukee. So I think he'll have more wins. The strikeouts will always be there. So that's always good. And Strider just strikes out the entire world always with another explosive
Yeah, dude,
offense. So he'll get the wins, he'll
he's
get the
filthy.
strikeouts. So he'll get those runs down. So those those are my guesses. And let's see who you have for the MVP. Maybe these are different. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these ones definitely are. I'm gonna start with my NL. Um, I was between Acuna
Hmm.
and Betts.
Hmm.
Joey is very high on Betts.
Sure.
I'm interested to see that he just got named to be the starting shortstop for the Dodgers this year to see how he ends up
Crazy.
playing at that
Hmm.
position because we know he is a crazy bat. That Dodgers lineup is just so potent that I just think that they're gonna forget about Betts there because there's just so many other good bats in that lineup now.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go with Betts. And then for the AL, I was kind of tossing up names, but I think I picked the dark horse, because I'm really high on this team,
Hmm.
and I'm going with Addy Rutschman
Oh, good one. Good one. I
as
got scared when you said dark
the
horse, but keep
AL
going.
MVP.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he's on a team that's young, that's hungry. They played really well last year,
Yeah.
in a very competitive division in the AL East.
Hmm.
I think he's gonna be looked on as the captain, and he's gonna prove it to everybody that he's the best catcher in the league and one of the best switch hitting bats. I think one of my favorite moments from last year was the home run derby and seeing
Yeah.
him hit home runs from both sides of the plate. That's
Hmm.
something that I'll never forget. It was
Yeah.
absolutely electric. And I think he has the potential from both sides of the plate to just be an absolute dog. So I
Yeah.
could see him being the MVP.
Yeah. I think that's a great pick. I mean, I'm pretty biased coming from someone who played catcher most of their life.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
he has such raw talent, and yeah, exactly. Raw talent, good catcher, can hit from both sides of the plate, has a great personality, young for that young, exciting team. So I like that pick too. And I also really like the Mookie Betts pick because to start off, Mookie Betts was my NL MVP pick
Nice,
for
nice,
this
of
year.
course.
Of course, it's it just came down to the wire this year or last year with Acuna. Acuna, they had similar numbers, but Acuna had the stolen bases and just some good defense to kind of add to that. But I think this year, some pressure even gets taken off Mookie now with another addition of Otani in the lineup and Freeman and all these guys. So it doesn't matter who
Yeah.
you pitch to; they're all dangerous. But a little pressure take off Mookie. So he's my pick. And then for the AL MVP, I got scared when you said dark horse because I think this one's a little bit of a dark horse. But I'm also high on this team to finally kind of take it to the next level. And I'm going to take from the Seattle Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. I think
Dude, that was
we'll
the
have
other guy I was thinking about. That's crazy.
yeah, I think, obviously in both leagues, the favorites could be, Otani or Mookie and Acuna or
Yep.
Judge in the other league. But, I wanted to take a dark horse, some guy who can just really do it all, five-tool player. And I think the Mariners are,
It's a good pick, man.
destined for a little better of a season.
Nah, it's a good pick. I mean, Julio is just an absolute freak, man. I see a lot of young A-Rod and, some flair of Ken Griffey Jr. in him.
Honestly, yeah.
So really, really excited to see how he plays this season.
Yeah, so am I. And then, we have plenty of time till the end of the season, but we also have our predictions for the World Series winners. So, Carl, what do you think?
So, a couple videos back, I had a bold prediction about who my World Series champion is going to be. And I did say that it was going to be the Baltimore Orioles. I had a bold prediction saying that, and I am sticking with that.
Nice.
But I think that the matchup is going to be the Baltimore Orioles versus the Dodgers. I think Shohei finally makes it to the World Series, and I think that Baltimore is going to come out on top.
Nice. That's a good one. I really do. I'm high on the Orioles as well. They just have so many young pieces. And I had a prediction, you reminded me weeks ago, where I said the Dodgers were going to win it this year. So
That's
I'm
crazy.
I'm sticking to that. And I have the Dodgers over the Orioles this year as my prediction, which is absolutely wild that we didn't even
We need to
say,
fucking save this, bro. We did not tell each other what beforehand. I think we muted ourselves. This is crazy.
not
What?
even that we picked, yeah, because we didn't even tell each other to say who they're gonna beat. We just said World Series winners. So for us to both think who they're gonna beat, and then for it to be the opposite team, if this actually happens, this might be the craziest moment ever. So I really am now rooting, unfortunately, for the Dodgers and
Holy
Orioles all
crap.
season
Yeah,
long.
me too. What the hell? Oh
Dude,
my
that is
God, that's
wild.
awesome. Oh my
That
God. Let us know in the comments, guys, who you guys think is going to win. That's crazy. I can't believe we just did that. That is so wild. I'm
that's
shook. I'm
That's
shook.
I can't believe that either. I figured we would have some of the similar MVP and other winners, but that was something. But there you have it, folks. That's our prediction for the season. Let us know if you agree, disagree, who you think. And that's unfortunately all the topics we actually have for this episode too. If Carl, you want to send us off.
Yes, everybody, thank you all for tuning in to episode number 26, as we were calling it beforehand. Well, not we, me. Episode Dan Katowski. So, Dan, if you stayed all the way to the end of this video, appreciate you. And we appreciate all our listeners. Thank you all for coming by and listening to me and Tyler talk for our 26th week of
Yes.
doing this podcast. So, thank you all. Love you all. Buy some merch. Tyler's wearing our lovely first sweatshirt that we have. We got some more merch on the way.
Mhm.
Um, Keep liking, subscribing, telling your friends about it. And if you know anybody who would love to be our very first sponsor, please let us know. You can have the lovely pleasure of being the two man's first sponsor, and we will put you everywhere and anywhere we can. So
Yes.
please follow, like, and subscribe again. Thank you all. Happy episode 26, and hope you guys had a safe and happy St. Patty's Day.
Yep, like Carl said, like, subscribe on all platforms, buy the merch. We have a brand new logo that we just displayed, and keep up with the great support. We appreciate it. Till next time, guys. Peace out.
Till next time, peace.